Walk.
Yeah, so go ahead and do that. How are you doing that? Describe it.
It feels like I'm walking.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a sense of purpose? Like you're going somewhere?
No.
Uh-huh. But you just want to walk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are you walking on?
It feels soft, but not like a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have shoes on.
Mm-hmm. What do your feet look like?
Like blobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're not human feet.
Mm-hmm.
They're rounded more.
Okay.
And I think I get like a sense of brown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything that are similar to toes at all, or how do they look?
It's fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually. And it feels like I'm walking on like two legs, but
it feels different.
it does.
Yeah.
It's not normal. Like it doesn't feel like I'm standing up like a human, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like almost like I have pads, like paw pads. Because like the ground it's not rough, but it's not soft, but it kind of mutes. Like I almost feel like it's grassy because it's a little cold.
Mm-hmm. And what are you doing?
Walking.
Just walking? Okay.
Almost like I'm looking, but I don't know what I'm looking for.
Okay. Well, what about the rest of your body? What else can you perceive?
I can feel things brushing against my sides, like grass or twigs or like almost reeds.
Okay.
And I'm
water.
I don't know if it feels soft. Like almost like grass and dirt, but it doesn't feel the same. And I actually might be on 4 legs now. And I almost look like I'm looking, like observing or looking around or trying to avoid something.
Like something behind you?
Like I'm worried something is watching and I'm looking for it is how it feels.
Okay.
'Cause if I hear something or feel something, like I can, like I not jerk, but like look to the side to be like, oh, what is that?
What is that?
And whatever it is must be what I'm walking through is taller or bigger or kind of surrounding me because I can feel it up over my head.
Okay. Is there anything else around you? Any
trees, but not super close, like almost like they are lining a path, and there must be like tall grass or bushes that I'm like meandering through in it. I feel like I know where I'm going, but I don't know.
How can you tell the difference?
It feels familiar, but I don't recognize it. Like I don't feel nervous that I haven't been this way. Like I keep looking up and around, like I'm looking for something.
Could you run if you wanted to?
Yes.
How does that feel?
Wild.
Yeah.
It feels wild, like I've wanted to do that, but I was whatever I'm looking for was making me not want to do that.
Okay.
Like almost like I couldn't run because if I did that I couldn't look for what I was looking for. So I don't know if I'm looking for a turn or trying to avoid something.
Okay. but it felt good to run?
Yes.
Okay. So now what are you doing again?
It's a little bit more than a walk, but less than a run. And I'm on a path now.
Mm-hmm. What's the path like? What's it made out of? What is it?
Like dirt and rocks, but it just doesn't feel quite right.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not sharp and it doesn't hurt. And you can feel grass still touching you, so it feels fairly narrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I see green, and there's still trees to the off to the side.
Mm-hmm. And you're just walking still, jogging?
Yeah, slowed down.
Okay. And so is it daylight or is it nighttime?
Daylight.
Daylight. Mm-hmm. So what do you want to do?
I feel like I'm looking for a mountain, like or a cave or something big, and I'm like really drawn to it.
Okay.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And you feel like you're on the right path to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just making your way there.
Yeah.
Okay. So now if you were to move forward just slightly to the time when you got to what you were looking for, move forward to where you get to where you were going. And you're there now.
Okay.
And what do you see?
It's like a mountain or a big hill. It's really, it looks tree covered and dark.
Mm-hmm. And you know where to go?
Feels like it.
Okay. So why don't you go there? And just describe what you see.
It's a cave in the hill.
Mm-hmm. And what's inside the cave?
It feels like home.
Mm-hmm.
It feels familiar. It's like it looks like a bear den.
Mm-hmm.
And it smells earthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like musky.
Mm-hmm.
And dirt. And it felt like I walked, or traveled, I guess is a better word to say, quite a while to get there, and
Okay.
that maybe I hadn't been there in a while. Like it felt very familiar, but it was like, when I got there, like, oh, home, we made it. I think I'm a bear.
Yeah, is that what you're thinking? Yeah.
I think so. Like my feet feel puffy underneath, like if that makes sense. Like that they're pillowy and soft, and I feel big.
Sure.
And I don't know how to describe it, but like not muscular big, but like puffy big. And
sense.
hairy. And that like, when you were a kid and you would run through the grass and you could feel your hair touching it, that's what it felt like when I was walking.
Oh, really? You could
so I'm
feel
hairy, and I think I'm dark.
that.
Like I'm looking out, I can't see myself now. But I feel dark. Like my color is dark black or brown or...
Cool. So what are you going to do there in the cave?
I feel like I want to sleep. Like lay down and curl up and get cozy.
Well, describe that a little bit. Why don't you do that? Like, what do? You
circle like a dog and like I want to like not move the ground, but like fluff the imaginary floor blanket is what it feels like. Like I just have this, I want to paw and circle and push my head and like like fluff the floor is what it feels like. And
so you do that?
Yeah. And then I lay down and I curl in. Like everything gets tucked under.
You just sleep?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That's really neat.
And it definitely felt very like sigh of relief when I got there. Like that I was no longer looking and looking for something.
And what do you do the whole time you're there? You just sleep?
For a while. And then I get up and I go out and out of the cave area. And then the next image I see is like I'm on top of a mountain peak looking. And I can see an eagle flying, and there's snow at the top. And we're looking down over where I had just been with like it's like a small mountain, a hill, something covered in all trees, and then the den was in it, like in the side of it.
Has much time gone by? Or is it relatively close to the time you found the cave?
Relatively close.
So you sometimes leave the cave?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you do when you do that?
Walking, but it feels like there's a purpose. Like I see berry bushes and I keep circling them and doing that, and then you do that for a while, and then there's trees. I feel like I'm climbing it. It looks like it because I'm above some of the other trees.
Okay. Why'd you climb the tree? Can you tell?
I think to look. And to look at the same peak that I was on where the eagle was flying.
Okay. So you just climbed it to look at that?
Feels that way.
Okay. And now what do you want to do?
It sounds weird, but I want to walk.
You want to what?
To walk. And like just, it's this urge to just go and explore and to look and find more berries.
Okay. Do you eat them?
Yes.
Okay. Very good?
They're very good.
Wonderful.
They're like a ruby red and soft on the inside and like a little firm like the outside, like your tooth has to bust it for it to break. And they're very juicy.
Do you just eat them off of the bush?
Yes.
Straight off of there?
Yeah. You pull them
with your paw?
Yeah, my fuzzy thing,
Your
my fuzzy blob.
Right.
Like I don't really picture myself well, but like the surrounding is, and there's like there's little trails that look like deer path, but I don't see anything. And then I see bushes and like low grass and pine trees, and I am alone, but I don't feel alone. But not in a creepy like I don't know who's there and it's unsettling, but
you can just perceive that.
Yeah.
You can tell that there's other things out there.
Yeah.
And that's normal. So you just feel like walking. Very cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else like you see around you that seems important?
I just keep seeing the mountaintop and the white snow, and I wouldn't necessarily say it seems important, but I'm like just drawn to it. And I don't know if that's like a frame of like directional reference, like that it's pointing where I need to go, or that brings me back to the cave.
Kind of like a map for you.
Yeah.
Like a reference point, like you said. Yeah.
Because it seems like it's like always in the like left hand corner of where I am.
Okay.
Like
so
I
you
can
keep
always
it.
see it.
Very good.
And it never changes. It always is it's always the same amount of snow. It's always like partly, like mostly sunny with a few clouds. And then like I'll get the urge where I just want to run.
So you can run?
Yeah. Very fast it feels like. Because then everything looks like a little vortex blur. Like you could see colors and like little stripes go past, but you can't make anything out. And you can feel it, like the wind whipping and it going through your fur, and then I stop.
Okay. Oh, why'd you stop?
I don't know, I felt like I just like, oof, just went into something.
Oh, where'd you go?
Feels like I literally hit a wall.
Oh, okay. What do you see?
Like a mirror is what it looks like. It looks like I can't go past it, but it's reflecting like what's behind me.
Okay. What's behind you?
Like a field and the mountain way in the back.
Okay.
But I can't see myself in the mirror.
Okay.
Which is weird. But I can't get through it.
Okay. Do you feel like you're the bear still or different?
No, I feel like I'm the bear.
Okay.
And like I tried to put my paw through it and it just stops.
Oh. What do you think it is?
It literally feels like a mirror, but why can't I see myself?
Interesting. Could you walk around it or alongside of it?
You can walk alongside of it, but you can't get past it. It's like a force field.
And you can touch it. You can reach out and touch it. But it doesn't budge. You can't see yourself.
You can just see, like, it literally reflects the environment backwards.
Is it rounded or is it straight?
Straight.
So it goes straight up? Can you tell how far it goes up?
It feels like forever, like higher than what I can reach.
Are you nervous about being there, or how are you feeling inside seeing this?
It feels odd.
Like out of place.
It feels like I'm in an enclosure now. Like you're in a zoo.
Yeah.
Oh, and I didn't like that.
Nope. Do you know how you got there?
I was running. And then I hit it. And then I realized what it was.
Have you been in there your entire life or not? Did they bring you in there?
That doesn't feel familiar. Everything else does. So, because I was very surprised and angry that I couldn't put my paw through it or hand, whatever,
so
the thing.
A newer environment for you.
Yeah.
So you were probably brought there, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to look around you, and can you see anything else? What else do you see?
It looks like, it's not quite a lake, more like a pond, but it wasn't there before. And it's on the edge where the glass or mirror is. Okay. And that doesn't reflect into the glass either. The mountain does.
So the mountain is there.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's backwards.
Okay.
Because there's like a ridge on one side, and it's opposite.
Do you know how you got there?
I was running.
And then what happened?
The flashes of like the color and the light, and then I hit the wall. Was I captured? Were they chasing me?
the last thing you remember before waking up in the enclosure?
Like the feeling of needing to run, like just like go.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looked similar, but it was different. And I was walking, and then I was eating berries.
Mm-hmm.
I was eating berries, and then I wanted to run, and it was just like go.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like a playful like I'm so excited, or like I'm gonna chase a bug, but it was like go. And then I was walking after the running, and then I hit the wall. And I'm just walking up and along the side.
Are there any other bears in there with you? What do you see?
I see a different cave.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and it's a different smell.
Okay.
And I don't like
different?
it. I just like went.
Okay.
Scrunched my face. I don't smell it, but whatever,
Right.
like I could feel my face go, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh God, that stinks.
Mm-hmm. What does it smell like?
Dirty.
Yeah.
Like stinky, dirty. Like I don't want to throw up from it, but I'm disgusted by what it is.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else, but I feel like something is there because I don't want to leave the side where the glass is.
Okay. How come?
I think I'm angry.
Are you?
Yeah, I feel very like annoyed, and I keep like pushing my body up against it and pawing at it.
Mm-hmm. What happens?
It's hard.
Yeah.
And it like nothing budges, and then I just get more frustrated, and I like pace in front of it and do a lap, go back to the like the cave like area. It's very fake. It doesn't feel. It's like not real cave. It's like fake stone. It feels like, and
so you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like went to try to like lay down, and it didn't get comfortable, and I just plop. Like I'm exasperated, like I'm over it, and like now I'm like, what do I do?
So what do? You have to be angry and upset and frustrated. Is there anything you can do about it?
I feel like there's like rocks on top of the like little cave for it, and I like want to go up there and look to see if I can get over the edge.
Oh, do you try?
Yeah, but not very well. I keep slipping on the rocks and falling down, and then getting annoyed, and then going over to where the glass is and pacing and like looking up to see if I could find the edge, and I like it looks like it goes all the way to the sky.
Do you see people around there? Do you see anybody like that around you?
Now I can. It's not just the reflection of inside. You can see out, but it's not clear. And there's shapes. It feels like I'm being watched. Like people are looking in.
How does it make you feel?
Uneasy.
Yeah.
Okay. And like the more I try to attempt things, like the more upset they get. And there's like, I can't hear exact words, but like you can hear like murmuring. And like, yeah, the closer I get to the top, the more murmuring there is. And it doesn't feel like good murmuring.
That's not good?
No, it doesn't feel like it.
Okay, so you can tell that.
Yeah, like I can feel like, oh, I'm getting closer, like I'm almost there, and then it feels like they get louder, and it's more frequent and higher pitched murmuring. Like it feels very weird. It's all very loud and very muted.
But You can definitely feel.
Yes. You can definitely feel that they don't like when I do that. And then, like, when I go and just lay down, it quiets down.
Really?
Yes. And if I go, like, it's less when I go right to the glass, but if I start, like, pawing at it and thumping at it, it picks up, but not as much as when I try to get on top of the rocks. Because it almost looks like you can see the top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it feels like glass. And you can almost get it, but I can't quite reach. I'm not big enough. It feels like I feel like I'm stretching.
Okay.
Like I can see the corner of it, and if I could just like just I'm on my tippy, like I could feel my toes are curled, and like I'm stretching so hard, and I can almost get it. I can see it, and then like when I do just a little bit more, like I must lose my footing, and I can feel it. Like it's just the instant, like the sliding, and then the nails gripping in. It's rock. Yeah. I can hear it. My nails digging. Yep. Yep. And they get very exasperated, and the murmuring just really picks up.
And you don't like it?
No. It's very irritating. And I think that's what makes me lose my concentration when I'm so close. And then like I almost get it, and then I can hear the, like, it's not but it's like muted murmurs, like mwah mwah mwah, but like very high pitched, and it just gets faster and more like obnoxious is how I want to describe it.
Right.
It's like almost like a ringing in your ears, and then it's like the minute that my hand or claw foot almost reaches it, and it's like everything is tense and reaching, and I just slide right back down. Yep. And
then you just pace back by the mirror.
Yeah.
And go to your spot.
And then it's just like I just keep doing it over and over.
Wow. Do you ever get hungry?
Yeah. I'm actually very hungry.
Really?
Yeah. And I want fish.
You want fish?
I want fish.
Do they give you fish? What do they give you?
Stuff in a bowl.
How do you feel about that?
It's very bland. I'm like, and I sniffed it, and I was like, but I can I feel like I must have caught fish at some point, because I can feel them, and the slipperiness, and like just I must have put my nails through it. Yeah, because I felt like
And then you just pop it in your mouth, or how do you eat that? Do you remember how?
Yeah, you hold it like a corn cob.
And
you bite right into the middle. Yeah, you bite and you rip. It feels good, actually. And I shake my head, and I threw the fins off, I guess it feels like, and then I ate what was in the middle.
How does it taste?
Delicious.
Good.
And it feels clean. And well, that's a memory but
absolutely.
Yeah, it feels very clean and satisfying, and you can feel the water beating off.
Is it hard to catch fish?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're slippery.
Yeah. So it's super exciting when you can catch one.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's cold. Your feet get cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you're swiping and pawing, and you feel like you have them, and then they jump, and you can't quite get them. But then when you do get it, it's very rewarding.
All of your hard work. Oh, that's funny. But in the place where you are now, they just give you a bowl of stuff?
It looks like dog food.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww.
Like kibble and wet, and it almost looks like fish flakes on top. Like something shiny, but it's like flaky. And it's not very good.
It's not good?
It's dry.
Oh.
Because I keep going.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm like, well, I'm hungry,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not pleased. But they quiet down.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do they have water for you?
The pond,
How is that?
dirty.
It's gross.
Yeah, it's dark. And I don't, like, it doesn't feel as good when I get in it.
Yeah.
Like before, there was a creek or a stream or a river. It might be a river. This was cold, and like you could feel the current, and this is
Just
stagnant
still
and
stagnant.
like it's definitely not as clear, and it smells like fishy,
Oh,
but like dead fish.
really?
Yeah, and there's like algae, scum
Mm-hmm.
at the one corner,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all excited when you get in it.
So
Like
do you
it
do-
feels like clapping, like
Oh.
you can't really, like you can see them but you can't. It's just the shapes again,
Mm-hmm.
outlines,
Mhm.
but they're very excited that I went in.
And you can feel that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're very
So-
rude. They never go away. And I'm
They
like,
never go away.
and I was
I
just
know.
like, I have to poop. I'm like, but I can't, because I can't, there's nowhere to go.
Oh.
There's like, you can't hide. And I'm like, God, would you just go away? So I turn,
Mhm.
and I turn my butt to them, and I'm laying in the water with my butt sticking up because I don't want to look at them anymore.
Okay. And then what do they do?
They're quieter, and so I almost wonder if they're gone, because I don't. Now it's a more clear, like when you look through the mirror or the glass or whatever you want to call it. 'Cause before, like there was lots of colors and shapes,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it might be getting darker. And I'm starting to feel like relief, like I'm not being as watched as much.
Okay. More alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Well, do you get to poop in peace?
Well, yeah, now I get out and I'm like, okay, like I can. Oh, I don't want to walk the wall anymore. I'm tired of that, apparently.
Okay.
So now I'm. Oh, you can go the other way. So it feels like. It feels like a wedge, like a awkward pizza pie shape. Like, so it's not rectangle.
Mhm.
And in the tiny corner, like the tip of the wedge, must be where like the rock is, where you can get near
Mhm.
the enclosure, and it goes high.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's a tree next to it. I didn't see that before.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of ways there's a tree, but there's only like pine needles and like branches towards the top. It's like a couple dead branches
Okay.
at the bottom.
Mhm.
There's just nothing. They're there, but there's nothing on them. Like there's no like pine needles or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not close enough to the rock to get. It's farther enough. Damn it.
Oh, shoot. So you thought about it.
I thought about it. I was like, oh, and then it like widens. It goes way to the left, and it goes out, and then it's like grassy and shrubs and like a big rock to stand on. Not big, but bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And when I stand on that, I can't see the edge on the left side, and you can look towards the right where the glass is, like, and that's like the crust area of the wedge, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the pond is by like the short end of the side of the pizza, and it must face the glass because I showed them my butt because I was annoyed. And I was tired of acknowledging them staring at me. But yeah, there's another big rock. One bigger than the other to stand on, but they're a ways apart. And I've clearly worn a path.
So you've been there a little
I've been there a little. I can.
Okay.
It feels very like you can see it, you can feel it. It's very worn in,
Gotcha.
and the water is dirty.
Yeah. Do they ever clean it? Ever? That you
Like
know
it's
of?
not like poopy dirty, but it's like algae dirty, and it's not
Yeah.
clear, and it's not cold.
Cold. Right.
And I feel there's 2 bowls, but one is flipped over and one has the half-eaten dry food. So I'm wondering if the other one is a watered.
Oh, gosh.
And they feel like they're rough on the edges, like they've been, like they're rough on your lips and your chin. Okay. So I've chewed on them or drug them on the ground, maybe. And they're like gray. They're like a speckled gray. And heavy.
They're heavy.
Yeah. They're not easy to I can flip them, but
right.
it requires effort. Yeah, not because now I'm flipping it back and forth.
Is that like entertainment for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever get bored?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
Do they ever give you anything to do?
It feels like a big metal or plastic drum, like a big, like a barrel. Okay. And they brought it in, and it was heavy, and I was like, oh, you're so stupid. And then I got bored enough, and I started playing with it, and the murmuring, but good murmuring, I guess. It doesn't feel like the, oh no, like when I was at the top of the big rocks trying to get out. And it was hot.
Was it?
Very. And I rolled it to the pond, and then there was lots of murmuring and lots of shapes and colors outside of the glass, because I was wrapping my arms around it and rolling in the water.
Is that fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then whatever was in it feels like ice. I think.
Okay. So
it feels cold, but it's it's weird.
Okay.
But it's in the shape of the barrel. Oh, and there's fish.
There's fish?
There's fish in it.
Oh,
so now I'm freaking out and clawing at it, trying to get to the fish. Well, they're frozen.
Yeah.
So they're mushy, but it's
no.
fish.
Right. How
Yeah.
do they taste?
Mushy.
Okay?
Yeah. It's fish. It's better than what they were giving me.
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah, and there's lots of murmuring. And lots of people.
Okay.
Or shapes, I guess. I want to say they're people,
Right.
but they don't
Look like.
Well, I feel like they weren't familiar until now. Before, I didn't know what they were. And now, they were scary, and this is, annoying but familiar.
Right.
And they just stare.
Right. Do you ever have any other bears in there with you? Are you all alone?
I'm alone, yeah.
Is that lonely for you, then? Or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it is. It's lonely, but not to, the point of desperation. It's just, I wish there was something else to do on other animals. And there are birds that sometimes come in, but they're different than the birds that I saw before.
Oh, okay. That you were
Yeah,
before.
and there's no deer paths, and I find that odd.
Yeah.
I'm where are all the other poop and smells, and all I can smell is me in there. You can smell other smells, but they're very far away, and I don't know what they are. Because I can, I'll lift when I sit on the big rock. I keep doing this and sniffing, and it's not deer. It's not rabbit. I don't know. It's just different smelling.
Just something different.
Yeah.
You're not used to. Okay. Well, let's now leave that scene.
Okay.
Let's move forward to an important day. A day that you consider to be important when something is happening in that same lifetime as the bear that you were watching and experiencing. A scene that you consider to be as important. And now we've moved forward to another important day. And what is happening? What do you see around you?
metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm being like jostled back and forth, and it's very loud and echoey and bumpy.
Mm-hmm. Are you traveling somewhere in that cage?
Yeah, and I'm terrified.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like panicked and trying to get out, and like biting on the bars and clawing at them and hurting myself. I taste blood.
Do you?
Yeah. And it's very loud and bumpy, and it feels like the cage is rolling back and forth in there, like it's moving.
Like it's moving even?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens?
And I can hear other, you can hear, and they're it's like a horrible cacophonous sound of just animals being like screaming and roaring and growling. Oh, it's a big truck. It feels like a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dark. You can see out, but you can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is clawing and screaming, and
what happens?
and then the truck stops. And then there's a loud, like, thump.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm walking in the enclosure. So I was like a dart or something.
Oh, okay. Like a tranquilizer?
Yeah, because I feel it in my
happened?
butt, like a pinch,
Okay.
like a big sharp poke.
Uh-huh.
And then I was in the enclosure, and then I was wandering and I hit the glass.
Okay. Is that how you got there originally, do you think? Or were you moved to another place?
I think I was, when I was eating the berries,
Mm-hmm.
and I was enjoying myself, and
Mm-hmm.
sitting on my rump and basically tossing them in my mouth like grapes is what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just so like, oh, life is good. And then I just felt this sudden urge, like, oh my God, run.
Mm-hmm.
And I was running, and it was all the flash of light, and then the next thing was the gray, the metal, the bumps, the loud noise, the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the big sharp pinch, the pop of it, either the noise of the gun maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a,
Okay.
and then the sharp pinch, and then I don't remember much, and then I just remember like it felt like I was walking, and then I hit the glass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just kind of woke up there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So that's just how you ended up there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how long you are at that specific enclosure?
It feels like forever.
Yeah.
Like the path is so worn. Like it's actually lower than the rest of the ground because I walk it.
Yeah. And so you're there for a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's leave that scene. Let's leave that scene behind at the enclosure. And let's move forward to another important day in that lifetime as bear. A day that you consider to be important when something is happening. And now we've moved forward to another important day. And what is happening? What do you see?
A cub. Oh, it's little. Oh, and we're in the den.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's mine.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because it peeped open its eyes, and it's like when you hold a baby and that feeling you get when they first look at you.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
So you had a cub.
I had a cub.
Okay. Where are you?
Back where I was originally.
Okay.
In the den.
Okay.
In the den.
Okay.
And I was all curled up, and it had started to move, and I peeped open my eye, and it looked at me. Yeah. And then you watch it grow, and it's learning to walk, and it's very unsteady with the big floppy feet, and
Mm-hmm.
And I go over and I like nudge it, like, you're okay, like, keep going. And then we're walking through the meadow and we go down to the stream or the river. And I'm trying to, feels like I'm trying to teach how to catch fish, and I'm like, watch, but you can't just dive in. It's very strong, the water, the current, and they're not listening. They're playing and following butterflies and pouncing on bugs and practicing roaring or growling, roaring, whatever we make, the noise,
right.
the big.
Okay.
And I'm laughing because it's funny, and I'm like, well, you're not big yet, but you will be. I have a feeling it's a boy.
Okay.
Because I keep saying, don't worry, you will be big and strong, and the roar will come. But I said, sit, I'm gonna go get a fish. And I'm trying to get a fish, and I feel very uneasy, like something isn't right. And I turn around and I don't see them anymore. And I start to panic.
What happens?
They're in the water. And they're being carried down the river.
Oh no. Both of them?
Yeah. And I'm running. And I can't catch up. Oh, and there's a cliff. Yeah. Oof. Very heavy feeling.
Yeah. What's happening?
I feel like I'm crying. Because they're gone. They went over it's like a waterfall type thing. And they're gone. And there's three maybe, other bears. And they came, I must have I was making a horrible noise. I don't know what you want to call it, like a scream or a screech. And they came, and there's another bear that I must, feels familiar, feels feminine. And she's like comforting me, like rubbing her head on my neck, and she has 2 cubs. And I asked her to go away because it hurts to look at them. And so she does. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm very, very sad.
Right.
Like, I feel like there's so much weight and heaviness that I can't even walk. Like, I feel like I'm literally, like, dragging myself. And I want to just go lay in the water.
So what do you do?
I go lay in the water.
You just go in.
And I feel like I'm letting it, and it's right in the spot where it happened too. And I'm like letting it just trying to take me, and then they come back and drag me out. And then that was why. When I was walking and looking, I was looking for them.
You were looking for them?
Yeah.
Hoping that they'd be.
Yeah.
And then it was after that they captured you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Okay. You didn't see them when you were there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's leave that scene behind. Let's leave that scene, and now we're going to move forward to the very last day of your life in that lifetime as a bear. We've gone forward to the very last day of your life in this lifetime you're watching. What is happening? What do you see?
I actually see people. I see somebody in a white coat.
What's happening? How do you feel?
I wouldn't say peaceful, but I I know that it needs to happen. I feel old.
Do you?
And sore. And like I'm not dark anymore.
Like,
I'm lighter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there's a very bright light behind the person in the white coat. And they're very soothing. It's a soothing murmur. But it smells like doctor.
Right.
Like very medicinal, like alcohol and sterile. And I think I'm on like a metal table. It feels like it's firm, but like I said, I feel like exhausted and worn, and like my joints ache, and she's petting my head. And then I get really sleepy, and then the light fades out, and then it's just dark.
It's just dark. How do you feel?
Restful. Like there's like floating. Like there's no more. Like I don't feel heavy and achy and.
Can you see yourself?
Yeah.
You can see it as the bear?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And my hair is like sun bleached.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And I look old and like it was long. Like a very long time.
Okay.
But I look peaceful.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And now that you're on the other side of it, and from that position, you can look back at that entire life as the bear and see it from a different perspective now. And every life has a lesson and a purpose. And as you look at that life of the bear, what did you learn from it?
To go with the flow. All I can see is the waves.
Oh, okay. And what do you think the purpose of that lifetime was?
To stand on my own 2 feet. And to pick myself up from the bottom. Because I was trying to drown myself. And I'm so mad that I was wandering aimlessly is what comes to mind, because I was so grief-stricken, and that's how I was caught. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad life, but it wasn't good. And I never stopped looking. Yeah. I think it was to stand on my own 2 feet. To like literally like pick up and move on, and to just accept.
And that was difficult in that life.
Very.
Very much so. Okay. Why did you pick that lifetime for her to see today?
To feel the grief. This.
How come?
So that she could overcome it. I know that she's strong enough. And to not make the same mistake.
To not make the same mistake in this lifetime? How so?
To not let the grief drown it out.
And what grief is she carrying?
It just feels so heavy.
What grief is she carrying that she needs to be strong for?
I just feel like I'm sinking, and there's this deep, heavy blue pouring in.
And what does that mean?
I feel like I want to swim to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I try, the lighter it gets.
Mm-hmm. Why are you showing her this right now?
To show her she can.
Mm-hmm. To show her that she can get through that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That she will overcome, that there's no more glass. That she'll
mm-hmm.
be able to push through.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Is there any correlation in that lifetime as the bear for the water, the flow of water, anything to do with the water in relation to this life right now?
It's cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I'm going in the water and I'm getting out and I'm rubbing the water off and I feel refreshed.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I keep seeing myself doing that, like diving in, feeling the panic of like having held my breath for too long,
Okay.
and then like panic swimming to the top, starting to relax when I see the light,
Okay.
and then coming up and taking the giant gasp of air,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and then getting out and being like, okay.
Mm-hmm. And what does that mean for you? Feeling-wise?
To just keep swimming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To keep going, because there will be like an end, you know, like there will be, it won't always be like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like so unsure and not, because I feel that same feeling of like being bogged down in panic and the pressure of the heaviness.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then as you start to make it to the top, it slowly starts to
get lighter and lighter. And then you can breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so the message is just for her to trust that process and just keep going, swimming to the top.
And to believe that you can make
Mm-hmm.
to the other side.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. A couple other questions here. She's wondering about the stomach issues that she's been dealing with for a long time. What is this from? What are all these stomach problems from?
It's like pointing the grief from the bear.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel it. Like it's like a pit. It's a hole.
Right.
It hurts.
Yes.
Like it's a ache.
Mm-hmm. So what does that have to do with it for this lifetime? What's been carried over?
It feels like grief. Like as weird as it feels, like a soggy blanket just being laid over me. And it's like as joyful as things can be, like that never, like it's always there. Like, and just when you think you've forgotten it, all of a sudden you can feel the wet soggy blanket.
Is that grief directly carried over from that lifetime as the bear?
It feels like it.
It
It feels very deep rooted, like I'm literally, it's like a big black blue hole in it. I'm like grabbing it and pulling it out of the bear, and it just never ends. But it gets smaller, but it won't go. But I'm literally, it's like, it sounds so ridiculous, but it's like pulling like fabric, and like I'm just yanking and it won't stop.
Okay. Is there a reason she needed to feel this grief from that lifetime? Is there a reason for that?
To process it. Because I didn't before. Like I spun it around and around, and I paced, and I didn't have closure. But kind of, because I don't know if they were my first cubs or whatever. There was something very special about them, and it made losing them very traumatic. And then like I was very alone in there, and it wasn't until like I'm assuming being put to sleep,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that I like felt that same, the compassion, the nuzzling, that sort of thing. So I think I need closure
Yeah.
or to learn how to process it, because clearly I didn't with all the pacing. And so I don't think it ever left.
Makes sense. So how can she go about healing that grief after feeling that and experiencing that and knowing where that comes from? Because she doesn't need to carry it anymore. How can she process through that?
Stop putting up walls is what they keep telling me.
Okay.
No more boxes. Yeah, literally, like I just keep seeing boxes in the big glass maze, and
Because you're not in that enclosure anymore.
Yep.
And you're out.
Yep.
Okay.
And to not be so bothered by the murmuring.
Oh.
They told me to stick my head in the ground with my butt in the air and just ignore everybody. Like I did the one time, because they were like, that's when you were the happiest, because you didn't care. And then I must have finally pooped in pee because I see myself like doing it, and I like look over and somebody's looking at me and I'm like, whatever, go away.
Right. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. So to do it your way, not to care about the peanut gallery out there. Gotcha. I'm wondering, is anybody in her current lifetime now? What in that lifetime with the cubs? Were they anybody in her lifetime now?
I just keep seeing the one little cub that I kept saying was going to be very big and strong, and the roar would come.
And who is that?
It has a very masculine energy. And it's a like super maternal feeling.
Right.
But they're very adventurous and kind of naughty. And like needs a little reassurance, but it's a very masculine energy.
But you can't tell if it's anybody who's in your life right now. Okay. And
it's like I just want to like pick them up and nuzzle them in, and
okay. So she wants to know about the stress and anxiety. Is that wrapped up in this as well, or is that separate?
Yes, it was very like carefree before the cubs, and then it like slowly started to build when they started adventuring. And then it's that hole.
Right. Do you think that your stress and anxiety from this lifetime is from like correlate to that life and like nervous about them as they're growing up and more adventurous?
Yeah, and I think it's also about myself.
Okay.
And not always being sure that I'm taking the right step.
Tell her more about that. What about more?
She doesn't listen.
She doesn't listen. What else have you told her about that?
To trust, to go, that the feeling that like that it's a good opportunity, that you just need to take the leap and the push. But she doesn't always. She like, it's like standing on the top of the big rock. Like I'm so close and I can feel it, and I'm like, if I lean, I don't feel like I have the footing when you lean forward, and then I think like I psych myself out and I fall back and I don't trust.
So how can you help her trust herself more? What can you tell her about that?
and trust. Like when you'll know, and you have to stop being afraid to take the leap and trust.
And what about the career path for her regarding her business? Is this what you're talking to her about?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a good choice for her to do then?
Yes, but it feels like it's going to be a little rocky at first, but it will get better. And that is where the standing on the slippery rock and and reaching forward, it won't be what she plans it to be. It will work out, but it will be different, is the feeling I get, because I see two paths and it's like, okay, walk, and I start going the other way, and then it's like, no, back up and go to the right.
Okay.
And that feels better.
Okay. So you're going to need to trust yourself in that, and that's going to be hard for you.
Yep.
But they're showing you that that's what's going to happen, and you have the choice.
Yeah.
To trust yourself to do it your way.
Yeah. It feels like it's going to be something very unconventional that other people, I'm going to be reaching for the side of the enclosure, and I'm going to hear a lot of murmuring, and I'm going to be like, oh man, this is not right. Don't do it. But to do it anyway. Okay.
And you'll know that when that comes.
I feel like it's going to feel like I was at the enclosure and I should have just lurched forward instead of falling back.
Gotcha. What is her life purpose while she's here?
I feel like to rid of that grief.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing the white coat. So I don't know,
Is there a correlation?
It feels like it. She felt very familiar and, safe. But not, family safe where you snuggle, but, I knew I wasn't going to get hurt.
Okay.
And that, since she was the last thing I saw, that was important, and so I don't...
Is that why she decided to be a vet in this lifetime? To provide that for animals?
Probably. It feels very it was very predetermined, and that sold it.
Okay.
I can just picture the bear laying there and her patting its head, and maybe that's because the bear had so much grief, that's how I'm supposed to alleviate it in myself, by removing it in others and the pain and the suffering. And I feel like maybe I had maybe wanted to go sooner and had hoped they would. And I couldn't by myself, and so maybe that's...
What is she here to learn by doing that?
It feels like strength.
Yeah?
Yeah. Very much so.
And to be strong for yourself and to pull yourself
out. Yeah.
Okay.
And to keep going is what it feels like. It just felt like I was in it for so long, and then to be pulled out. The feeling that I felt after, and then I went and I found the berry bush, and I was sitting there very cocky, throwing berries in my mouth like Baloo from the Jungle Book. That's how if that's very much how it is showing up.
Okay.
To look for things like that, and for things that make me feel that way, and powerful, and how I felt when I was running, and how good it felt to enjoy it, I guess. Because then it's very much I want to picture this bear laying on a couch throwing grapes in its mouth while people fan it with it's very much the how they want me to feel.
Okay, good. Very good. And you know that feeling. You can feel that feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
And they're like, she knows the feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. She's wondering here about the purpose of what happened in college to her. What was the purpose of that happening?
It's the opposite of sadness. Anger.
Anger.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Tell her more.
And it feels like the bear wanted to be angry but was so sad she couldn't. And so I think this is like the manifestation of like, it's this, what is that stage of grief? Whatever. It's after sadness. And then you hit anger and now they're telling me to walk. So it's like, keep going and you'll continue processing.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, it's just visions of her being angry and wanting to scream and having somebody to be angry at, but there was nobody because there was nothing to blame. Yeah, and then it's just like, okay, keep going, like it'll dissipate.
Okay. So it's still held in your body somewhere?
Yeah. It's in that dark hole.
Yeah. Okay. And so because this incident happened, it is causing her to feel such levels of anger, to be able to feel that and process through that because the bear wasn't able to. Okay. So she had to go through that to experience the anger. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it needed an outlet.
Okay.
It's like a kid throwing a temper tantrum and throwing itself down on the floor and arms flailing and screaming and crying and just like not being able to breathe from being so angry. And then it just kind of stops.
Was there a soul contract or agreement between the two of them before they came here? For that?
Yes. Very, like I see a handshake.
Yep. So that was, he agreed to do that for her to process anger through what happened.
Is that the cub?
You tell me.
I think so.
You think so?
It's very like, yes, it was, and he was the perfect color. Much lighter than I was in the vision. Like I was like very dark black, like a deep chocolatey brown, and the end of my life I was very like not gray but blonde, like bleached from the sun. But he was just like perfect.
So has she had many lifetimes with that energy, that soul before?
It's so familiar, it's so deep. Like that was I literally felt like I was drowning when I watched him go. Yeah.
Okay.
Very much so.
Okay. So that was agreed upon with that soul, and that you're very connected to that soul. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah.
Okay. And so in moving forward with her healing through this, how does that look like moving forward?
It feels like the anger is gone and it's just like the ache of sadness. And it's not, I can see her looking, but it's not like as frantic as it was before.
Okay.
And it's more like like when I see butterflies, how I think of Karen. Like it's much more like nostalgic now, and it's like there's still an emptiness, but it's not that soul-wrenching like I'm gonna die, like because I'm so overwhelmed with sadness, and like that I'm not dragging my limbs and they're not weighed down, and it's not weightless, but it feels better.
How will that affect her stomach problems and things moving forward?
it gets better. I just went from like seeing like bright red to like a pale pink. So I feel like it's gonna get better, because it was like super bright and like angry is
Right,
like the feeling
anger,
I got.
right.
And then like it slowly fades. So, but I always like, I still feel that like little pit. So I don't think I don't know if that means like that's how I process and feel things, like that anxiety, the intuition is gonna tell me, like, because that's the feeling that she felt, that uneasy feeling right when it happened, and that's what made her look up and realize he wasn't there. And then it turned into like the full-blown, so I just get the bright red angry with the like, and then fading to pink. So I
Just pale pink.
yeah,
Okay.
calmer, I guess, less angry, irritated.
As to like how it is inside of you as well. Then that's a reflection of that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it feels
Lesson.
like. That feeling like dissipates. It almost feels like when you drop a rock in the water and the circles start out small and very rapid, and then it slowly fades.
Will that completely heal up to a clearer color and not even pale pink as time goes on?
I'm being shown like a cloudy white.
Okay.
So yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Does she understand everything about what happened through
Yes.
that? She understands everything now?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. Wonderful. She's wondering about a common theme of railroads in her life. What are the railroads?
That is what transported me. And all the jostling and the loud metallic noises. Because I think it almost, like, obviously wasn't peaceful in there, but eventually she found peace with what it was, because she stopped trying to get out.
So like a surrendering?
Yeah. And like, yeah. And
is that a message for her now, like when she hears that, or to be near that reminder to surrender sometimes?
Yes. I like, everybody was immediately like nodding their head before you finished. They're like, just stop with the walls and the fences and the, like, they're just like, just stop. They're like, now I see like a mallet on top of the head, like a whack-a-mole, and they're like, if you would just, they're like, you are so stubborn, and they're like, when will you stop being like her?
Gosh. Okay. Is she learning more of that now, though?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Wonderful. Good. Okay. Wonderful. So why did you choose to be here on Earth right now?
To feel sadness, it said.
Yeah.
But it's, oh, that's a weird feeling. Oh, and it's balling up in my gut. It's like, love. To experience love, you had to experience the sadness.
Will she be back to experience more love?
Yes, and it won't be so tragic, they said. I see, like, they say no more tears.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's
Good.
what it says.
Wonderful. No, that's wonderful. And so how can she make the most of her life moving forward now, after this?
To surrender. To get on the train and let it take me. But this time I'm not caged in. Like, I'm looking out the window. And it's not the chaotic noise. And yeah, and there's no more screeching. It's like there's fields and meadows and mountains, and it's sunny, and I smell like crisp, clean fall air. And it's not the horrible, like, caged animal noise. And like the fear and the smell of fear, it's like not musky in a good way, and like urine and defecation and like the fear, it's very, they're like, just get on the train and just go.
Good. Wonderful. Is she holding on to anything she needs to let go of at this point?
The sadness.
She can let go of that now.
Yes. Yep.
She's learned that.
Yep. They're like, it's like a hand grabbing it and balling it up and throwing it on the floor.
And so it's just out of your body now.
Yep.
It's just out.
Yep.
Moving forward. That's amazing. That's awesome.